So, actually, now that I think of it, I need to tell you that um I need to just verify if people can actually hear me. So let me check real quick. Okay, okay, okay. So we will do some reaction because fuck you, and because I actually noticed that I'm fucking, and I need to start like working on this content. So yeah, um, so yeah, we will do some reaction. I need to eat. Forgot to eat. I want to stream after that, so we will keep on going. Um, there's something that I want to share with you. This guy's name is Gigak. Um, his content is pretty much like the fucking best content when it comes to anime. If you want to do some discovery, I already watched it. It lasts like 40 minutes. Yeah, fuck it. Whatever. I need to take a breather anyway, and I'll do some reactions. So let me just change a couple of things. Um, so category, chatting, just chatting, right? Yeah, right. So yeah. Mm, okay. So let me just like bring this up. Mm, mm, mm. Where is it? I'll open this up um, in a new window, and we'll react to this. It's great fucking content. So you and pretty much like it allows me to save me some time when choosing the next anime. I want to watch. I finished watching Free Ren. I'm rewatching like Hama Goddess. Uh, I love you. And basically like yeah. I need to fucking find what the fuck I want to watch, and I'll share it with you all. Like the good weeb actually finds the good anime. Uh, where is it? Where is it? Okay, and it will allow me to get into the reacting world because stuff is good. Stuff is really good. Is it too loud?
2024 has come and seemingly gone
Okay, probably not.
as soon as it began. It was
Okay.
certainly a busy year for global. 2024 has come and seemingly gone as soon as it began. It was certainly a busy year for global events, and I wouldn't blame you for just wanting to shut.
Wait, let me just get into the fucking nitty gritty of this. I actually need a fucking spoon, yeah. Alright. Let's get into it. Enjoy. So this guy's name is Gigak. He basically do a recap of what is uh what came out during the last season, and yeah, so pretty much like a great time, and I'll take the time to between two bites to fucking tell you to fucking like well, do some reactions.
2024 has come and seemingly gone as soon as it began. It was certainly a busy year for global events, and I wouldn't blame you for just wanting to shut off the world and put on some anime. And thankfully, this year, anime came to play. Anime just keeps continuing to soar in popularity for the better and for the worse. I still am getting used to how much of a global phenomenon it's become. School friends who never had any interest in animation will hit me up telling me they saw Dandadan. People who had never heard of a Crunchyroll will casually talk about discovering this random Japanese show on Netflix. My parents watched anime this year. The idea of being a pure anime fan feels like it's slowly getting phased out as anime just becomes another part of pop culture. But for those of us who still wear that mantle, what else was happening this year?
That is true. Anime actually became quite fucking like the norm, and I think that like it's a great thing for like all anime fans, but overall everyone who actually likes storytelling fiction, and we get to discover actually the easy way how to enjoy anime, because to be completely fair, it had a lot of problems when it comes to the niche thing and to the community thing, where it's like, let's say like sub against dub, so subtitles against dubbed, which even I did the mistake, and now I'm actually watching some dubbed anime because I'm like, hey bro, like actually like watching like everything in Japanese when the person is American or like Elvish, why not watching the English? Like the immersion is better, you know. And so for you, yeah, like, and like a lot of it was kind of like the judgmental, and the truth is that like when it comes to like discovering like anime, it's kind of like discovering like adult cartoons. It's kind of like if you see so many like red how's it called? Warnings, no. A red, fuck. How do you say it? Red flags. Red flags. Well, basically, you miss on your first anime, and if you actually are not used to fucking listening to Japanese people talking, well, it's not for everyone, and you need to adapt. Watch dubbed. Fuck sub if you don't like it. Anime is awesome. Art is awesome. Enjoy art, you know.
For about 2 weeks, our community became obsessed with Deers, with the release of a song you'd last about 10 seconds in before realizing,
ladies and gentlemen, I think my brain just committed suicide.
After years of waiting, it looked like we were finally getting the first great Junji Ito adaptation. Uzumaki came out and smashed the curse by giving us an anime that did justice to his horrifying art. It was disturbing. It was unnerving. This is it, the run that's going to change everything. We're gonna do it, and there comes episode 2. Free-ren became a cultural phenomenon, popularizing the phrase, "That's what Himmel the hero would have done," inspiring people so much that someone quoted him after stopping a real knife attack, in a rare case of a free-run fan doing something outside of posting Yubel's armpits. Demon Slayer...
Wait, what the fuck? That's actually such a fucking cool thing. Man stops knife attack because this anime hero will have done the same thing if Himmel is basically a warrior in free run. If Himmel was here, he will have done the same thing. His name is Xu. Glory to you, Xu. You're the hero. You became the hero. You probably became his anime hero, bro.
Knife attack, in a rare case of a free-run fan doing something outside of posting Yubel's armpits. Demon Slayer laid the groundwork for its final arc by having his big bad Muzan take 5 business days to walk to his destination. Fans seem to be split on whether this scene was pure badassery or just over-the-top silly. I'm just saying, if they really wanted their villain to have unmatched aura, they should have just fully committed to the Bollywood way of introducing their characters. It felt like a truck full of massive manga came to the end of their serialization, which included 2 mega hits in My Hero Academia and Jujutsu Kaisen. I didn't read them, but I can say from experience that historically speaking, when a long-running massive Shonen Jump manga ends, it's almost always met with unanimous praise and support, and this was no different.
I think my brain just committed suicide.
Isekai became an official word in the Oxford English Dictionary, giving legitimacy to all the isekai trashmen out there. Following the news, the search was officially started to find exactly who Truck-kun's British cousin would be. Here he is now. And last, but certainly not least, we lost a legend this year in Akira Toriyama. I tried writing a longer segment for this, but nothing I wrote felt like it did justice to this man's
Rest in peace. So what's his name?
Yama. I tried, certainly not least, we lost a legend this year in Akira Toriyama. I tried writing
Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. Banzai to you.
a longer segment for this, but nothing I wrote felt like it did justice to this man's legacy, so I'm gonna keep it short. He may not have been the mangaka that influenced me the most, but he is the mangaka that influenced the most people around the world. He inspired a generation of people, and his work will continue to inspire for many generations to come. And for that, what more can you say but thank you?
Thank you, dude.
This was a weird year to try and distill down when picking my best anime. To avoid any confusions, these videos aren't just meant to be a definitive shortlist of my favorites, but it's my favorites that I want to passionately share and talk about with you guys, and normally that's the vast majority. But it turns out that a lot of my favorite shows this year I don't have more than like 2 sentences to say, mainly because many of them have very recently been on previous year's list and they just continued doing what they were doing so well. So for the first time it felt right just to do some quick honorable mentions for the shows that helped define my year, even if I don't have much new to say. But before we get to that, I want to have a quick word about today's sponsor, Honkai Star Rail, a free-to-play sci-fi RPG from Hoyoverse with some of the most iconic characters they've ever made, such as Restless Vagrant. You idiots, we'll just steal off the miners. And right now is an exciting time for the game because a massive update is about to drop, because somehow it's already been a year since Penacony and a whole new world is coming. Amphorius is finally dropping as the new stop for the Trailblazers with new quests, areas and mechanics. And I am pumped because as someone who loved the Penacony arc, this looks like it's going to be living up to that insane quality. We've even been told that this time it's going to have a heartwarming story. A heartwarming story. I see no reason to doubt you, Hoyoverse. Of course, there's going to be new 5-star characters dropping too, starting with the Herta. Wait, Herta? The sassy lost tsundere of Star Rail? How the hell is she a 5-star now? Damn! Yes, the Ice Queen is here to take her crown, complete with her 5-star upgrade. But that's not all, because she's going to be joined by Aglia, a new 5-star lightning Greek beauty. But I know why you're really here. You don't care about me. You just want free stuff, don't you? Don't you? Well, right now there is a free 5-star selection event that will last until version 3.2. But wait, there's more. By just logging in for 7 days, you can also get a free 10 pull. What, not enough? All right, a little greedy, aren't we? Well, here you go. Use the code on screen right now for 50 free Stellar Jades. There. Are you happy? Works every time. So, what are you waiting for? Click that link in the description to download Honkai Star Rail today. Thank you very much to Hoyoverse for sponsoring me today, and with that said, here are some of the honorable mentions. I actually really enjoyed this season of Oshinoko, maybe even more than the first season. This year, we shifted gears to spotlight the Japanese theater, resulting in some of the best episodes we've seen in the entire series, with some insane direction at times that truly made you feel like you were living an authentic theater experience. I'm kind of starting to think that this show is at its best when Aqua isn't the main focus and when it can highlight other people's emotional journey through the world of entertainment. There was some fantastic character writing here, and now that the manga has come to an end, I'm sure we all have a lot to look forward to in future seasons.
I think my brain just committed.
Mushoku Tensei diabolically dropped one of its best ever episodes on Father's Day, then preceded it in the most Mushoku Tensei style possible, leaving me with some mixed feelings. Not so much with the developments, but more in the manner in which it was executed. For a series that historically has had no problem spending as much time as it needs exploring the complexities of human emotions, this one felt a bit out of sync. I still enjoyed it, but for the first time it left a bitter aftertaste in my mouth, and I'm not talking about whatever Roxy's been drinking. It was a delight to see the wacky chemistry between the Konosuba cast has not gotten boring at all. Demon Slayer was a 10 out of 10.
So I hear about Konosuba all the time, and I still don't fucking know what the fuck it is. I'll need to check it out to see. Maybe it's good. Like maybe it's good for me actually. Like art is subjective, to each their own, you know.
This moment alone should bring it up. Before that, it was the weakest Roxy's been drinking. It was a delight to see the wacky chemistry between the Konosuba cast has not gotten boring at all. Demon Slayer was a 10 out of 10 for one episode. Before that, it was the weakest season so far, shown by the fact that IGN gave it a 3 out of 10 and didn't set the internet on fire. Even I think that's a little low, because surely this moment alone should bring it up a bit. Then there was
Yeah, no, bro. Demon Slayer, you gotta watch it. 100%, like 100% positive. Like, take a go. Try to, like, why the fuck not? You know. Like you should really like give it a try. The aesthetics are really beautiful, and the way it is in general is really like the story itself is really fucking cool. So yeah, take the time to fucking like to fucking just give it a go, give it a try. Like I was never disappointed with Demon Slayer.
were the two juggernauts of last year, Apothecary Diaries and Vyrah, continuing their amazing run from 2023 to 2024. I introduced my mum to Apothecary Diaries this year, thinking it'll occupy her for a good week, and I thought I liked watching anime until I walked in one day later and she looks me in the eyes and goes, "It's done." That was too short. It was at this point I realized no matter how powerful I think I am, I can never hope to match the power level of Asian mums watching their soap operas. And while I preferred the first half of Vyrah that
So Apothecary Diaries, actually, like, let me write it down, because if it says that it's kind of like Vyrah, you know what? It took me actually like three fucking like tries to fucking finish watching Vyrah. But it was worth it, and technically it was because like I'm tired as a person, you know, like, and also because, like, you know what, I started to fucking watch in subbed, in dubbed, instead of subbed, which is like actually was quite better now that I think of it, you know. So Apothecary Diaries. I'll just write it down. Yeah, because it's also for me. Like, this dude actually is the bomb when it comes to like anime recommending.
aired last year, it still continued to be a stellar show, tournament arc and all. I know everyone's thirsting over this green-haired girl, but I gotta say, the old man won my heart. A mage of principle and respect, reminding us that you may be out of mana, but you ain't out of hands. Showing the young'uns how to truly pound people up. No diddy. Make no mistake, if this was a simple one-sentence list, both of these shows would have easily ended up in my top 5. And on the other end of the spectrum, there were other returning shows like...
So I will say it for the rest of my life. You need to fucking watch Vyrah. Like, Vyrah is like I love this anime so much that this is I'll probably do its promotion and explain you in a 10-minute videos why you should really give it a go, and why I think that, like, even thinking about it now, Vyrah really has done something to the anime industry by showing that, like, by just showing something really different when it comes to vibes, you know, when it comes to mood, when it comes to storytelling. And I think that, like, everyone should give it a go. And I think also that, like, when it comes to well, how can I say it, when it comes to overall, so like you said earlier in the video, anime right now is booming, and this boom actually, like, invites a lot of, like, newbies, normies, like non like non-anime people to this great this great community. And I think that Free Ren, maybe Apothecary Diary, are, but having watched Free Ren, is a great first anime to actually start your anime journey, and maybe even your manga journey, you know. And because like it adds so much to the table, but if you don't know any anime, it's a great first one to watch actually. So yeah, let me just grab my fucking like cancer illness in a can, and I'll be right back. All right.
My Hero Academia.
Wait, what the fuck?
And all. I know everyone's thirsting over this green-haired girl, but I gotta say, the old man won my heart. A mage of principle and respect, reminding us that you may be out of manner, but you ain't out of hands. Showing the young'uns how to truly pound people up. No diddy. Make no mistake, if this was a simple one-sentence list, both of these shows would have easily ended up in my top 5. And on the other end of the spectrum, there were other returning shows, like My Hero Academia.
Okay.
Shows like
So,
My
okay, I'm not glitching out. I'm glitching out because of my lack of nicotine. Let me just get to
Hero Academia.
okay, so there's no sound. My Hero Academia, you should watch it. It's okay. Like, at least to me, it's okay. To many, it's really great.
Yo, this shit boring. My Hero became the punching bag of jokes, while other titles rose up and grabbed the spotlight. And as time went on, it felt like those jokes turned into complaints, and then eventually those complaints turned into indifference. And while it felt like many people had given up on it, I quietly continued watching in hopes that one day it would remind me of why I loved the series in the first place. And this year, I remembered what it felt like to go plus fucking ultra. Like in the modern age of action shonen, a lot of us have forgotten the beating heart of what My Hero Academia truly excelled at. Its amazing attention to detail in its character writing and development. This is what has shined in these latest seasons, and on that playing field, only a few of its competitors can compete. However, if you come into this as another battle shonen anime, you can definitely feel it being left behind when compared to the plethora of modern action spectacles its contemporaries have been showing us.
So this is true. Like you can feel that like sometimes like My Hero Academia is kind of like it's, let's say that like when it comes to anime, My Hero Academia is is there a fucking show about dragons that like I can fucking find? Well, it is like Pokemon to Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Because like My Hero Academia is basically like the Pokemon anime, which is great and has like no problems in it. But like if you want to for something darker, you get Yu-Gi-Oh with like dark, fucked up looking dragons and like really like interesting like looking like monsters. But we really talk about monsters. But here's the thing, like the all public anime is all public anime, and it doesn't like make you a worse or better watcher, or like your taste is not better or worse if you don't like, well, people getting fucked up and just basically like seeing like body horror or psychological horror that is like to some just edgy and not interesting, or to some just like something that they cannot handle at all. Or so yeah. And I think that like when it comes to, well, between Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, well, if you want to show something to your kids, for example, like or to young people, it's better to watch fucking Pokemon, you know. They'll remember it better, you know. But to each their own, you know.
Take this fight. We have Fireman versus Ice Boy and friends. It's a one versus many brawl. Fireman blasts them with a super hot fire, immediately rendering the team useless, and punches Ice Boy. But Ice Boy has a technique that neutralizes his fire, because, you know, he's actually half fire, half ice, and then punches Fireman. But then Fireman brings out fire that's even hotter than his previous fire, so Ice Boy brings out his ultimate technique, an even colder super duper ice punch. It was at this point I realized I'm not watching an active brawl. I'm watching a turn-based battle on autoplay. I know this sounds like complaints, but this is all to say that if you are able to get past all that, when you can focus on its strengths, when you see all these character storylines collide, it is able to go places few other shonen action shows are able to, and this season was a non-stop barrage of that. Endeavor facing the mistakes of his parenting, Todoroki coming to terms with his family trauma, Bakugo turned into a sympathetic boy, Ochiko proves she's more than just a good girl, Himiko proving she's more than just a crazy girl, Deku stop listening to My Chemical Romance, All Might, Hawks, Dabi, Ida. There may be hype seeing Gentle again. Gentle? Fucking what? This almost didn't feel like an action show. This felt like an epic soap opera where coincidentally people solve their conflicts by punching each other. It may not be doing...
Well, what he says about soap opera is something that also I agree with, where like, and this is like more possible where like you don't see as much like body or psychological or, and well, you know, like when it's family friendly, basically it's all public, because as much as you wanna trash on like people who like to watch like soft type of arts, you know, like anime or movies and stuff, you know what, this is the type of stuff that you can allow, because like you know what, in a lot of like My Hero Academia, I'll get to tell you like the person is supposed to fucking explode or lose an arm or lose a leg or whatever, right? But it doesn't show that, but because of that it can create like something that is more symbolic, or like something that is more theatrical, and create like some other moments where you can reflect and grow as a person, or enjoy. There is a better or worse. No, it's just different. But like at the same time, like I have kind of like this grudge about against people who say I'm too good for like the anime, where like there is not enough people getting fucked up, and I don't suffer enough, you know.
Doing what shonen action does best, but it is doing what My Hero Academia does best. Now approaching the finish line to its legacy, it felt like My Hero has stood up for one last hurrah as it looked me dead in the eye and said, "Don't worry, kid."
So yeah, My Hero Academia must watch, like at least try it, you know. Like
Sometimes you come across a show that gives absolutely zero fucks and condenses its entire being into achieving one objective: having fun. That is Brave Bang Bravern. This is what happens when you take the over-the-top ridiculous hype of Gurren Lagann, add a bit of tokusatsu, and crash land it into the manly bravado world of Top Gun. Then make it about as straight as it too. It is a non-stop, glorious celebration of the best parts you can find in the mecha genre, then throws logic out the window and amps everything up to 11. Cheesy speeches, fusion scenes, old school theme songs that will grow your beard 5 inches. It takes all of them, then proudly throws them in your face. Oh, what was that? Yes, because you know what? Subtext is for cowards. It doesn't care if you get it or not.
Gigak is really funny, man. If you watch, even if you like anime, you just should watch it just to get a good laugh from time to time. Like I can watch the same review about animes that I already watched. It's just for his jokes, man.
Because it's here to do its own thing. If you ask, why does a mecha have a function where it plays its theme song and projects its own background screen? Why is the US military trying to waterboard a giant robot? Why does the protagonist have karaoke subtitles so he can nail the speech during heroic moments? It'll look at you dead in the eye and say, fuck you, because this is Bravern. BRAVGWBGWBBWGGGWBBW. What does that spell?
I just had a brain aneurysm.
It's a treat when you watch a show where you can tell every single person working on it was having a blast, and you get infected with that same joy. This is the shitpost of Mecha, the YouTube poop of super robots. Forget a no bullshit show, this is an all bullshit show and is damn proud of it. It's a show that fully commits to hitting every single emotional beat it needs to, then takes one step back and laughs at itself.
Come on, wake up! こんな時だったのにお盛んだな。
バカね。私たちもでしょ。
If you're still unsure about the appeal of Mecha, if you're unsure of what makes super robots great, give this one a watch. This isn't just a love letter to the mecha genre, this will make you fall in love with mecha. You know, figuratively speaking.
Bruh.
No. Just hear me out. No.
Bro, kinda attractive to mecha though. Like, I've been single, my ex left me, you know, so. A girl is a girl, love is love, you know?
No. Like many other people, watching
Wouldn't watch though, like, I don't know, wasn't my thing, mecha animes.
anime can be my escape from reality, a place where you can enter a whole new world with stories that have absolutely no relation to the life you're living right now. So, what could be further from reality than a sci-fi show about alien invaders and the end of the world itself? It's the dreariest apocalypse of all time, where the world is going through an unprecedented global event. Misinformation, conspiracy theories, and finger-pointing have spread like wildfire on social media. Friendships are lost on where people stand with the issue of these aliens. Protests begin. Public trust is at an all-time low. The only thing that everyone can agree on is that nobody can agree on what to do next. Politicians prioritize the economy over anything else. More and more, it feels like there isn't a single competent person left in a position of power.
What's the word? Is this Kara design, bro? Look at this fucking. What the Kara design means character design in the anime industry.
Protest.
Look at what the fuck is going on, bro?
Low. The only thing that
okay.
Everyone can agree.
What the fuck is, bro? Like you just said, the world is at its ending, and the dude, the dude, like looks like he is from like a comedy anime. It's like what happened to you, bro? Like I know you're looking normal, but like what the fuck did the artist was like? They were like, we're talking about the end of the world, the apocalypse. Yeah, I think that like the guy looked like this. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And everyone was like, yeah, this is a legitimate, like, this is a legitimate art choice, yeah, you know, like, yeah, when it comes to the design of the fucking dude that deals with the fucking, like, a problem, you know?
Agree on is that nobody can agree.
Even him, like, bro.
Public trust is at an all-time low. The only thing that everyone can agree on is that.
Like, what the? So, this guy, okay. This guy, so, this guy, okay. This guy, okay. This guy, okay. This guy, okay. What happened to him? Like, it's like, no, you're standing out, you know? Why the fuck do you stand out that much?
Nobody can agree on what to do next. Politicians prioritize the economy over anything else. More and more, it feels like there isn't a single competent person left in a position of power.
Thank you so
and in
much
between all
for,
that, the series asks.
Thank you so much, Suka Vati 56 for the follow. Love the stream. I am a huge fan of this game too. Let's play together soon. Add up on Discord. No, thank you. Sorry.
What does it feel like to be a teenager, trying your best to grasp a sense of normalcy after living through major historical event after major historical event? This was the realest anime of 2024. Dead demons.
That will be a pass for me, to be honest. So yeah, That will be a pass for me.
Destructions takes a different approach to the First Contact story. This isn't about an invasion. This isn't about communication. This is about people feeling absolutely lost, trying to cope with a world that seems to be crumbling around them. It's a cynical, biting look at life that sometimes felt a little bit too uncomfortably reminiscent to reality, showing us that even during an apocalypse, life has to and will go on. But there is hope, because even during a chaotic time with aliens, spaceships, and sci-fi laser weapons, only then can the true heroes of society emerge.
お前もそろそろしっかりしてほしいよ。
父さん、SNS にはびこる私意識高いですアピールを繰り返す勘違い野郎を探し出し、心霊写真をポストし続けなきゃならないのだからな。
Ah, he's finally here. Biblically accurate Twitter blue checkmark user.
Bro, that's bro, like this Gigak is a savage, bro. Like, bless this dude.
When the last season of ReZero came out, I looked like this. When the first season of ReZero came out, I looked like this. When ReZero was being written, I looked like this. It's insane to think that this show first blasting onto the scene, taking over the anime community, was over 8 years ago. ReZero fans have been surviving eating at scraps, but this year we got the start of an all-you-can-eat buffet with its return. They brought everyone back for this one. Amelia, Krush, Felt, Anastasia, Priscilla, Subaru's newly acquired sassy Pokemon, Reinhardt, Julius, them, Let Me Solo Her, even Rem fans were eating this season.
Wow.
If you were one of the people that thought Season 2 was a little slow in plot progression, Season 3 went, don't worry, I hear you, and started off by dropping a nuke on itself. This was a no bullshit, non-stop barrage of chaos. When you thought the situation couldn't get...
Now that I think of it, let's just add like subtitles. Can help like for like the for some people that like cannot fucking hear, or like or just for like the like the entertainment experience. I got nothing better, bro. Like yeah,
get any worse? It does. Just when Subaru learned to value his own life and make an oath not to rely on the return by death mechanic, this pushed that commitment to the absolute limit. One thing goes wrong, then two. Before he can even put out one fire, 10 more pop up. There reaches several parts where you think this is the point of no return, only for the series to hold and keep holding. Then it holds for another whole episode until you want to scream, please Subaru, there is no dishonor in typing FF15. This show has never been shy of introducing wacky, eccentric villains, and yet even this season had me going, good lord ReZero, as I jizz and breathe. Forget introducing one villain at a time, let's introduce them all from the entire spectrum of crazy and deranged to others so despicable I genuinely hope every time he pees it goes off in 2 streams and they both miss the toilet. They were introducing so many surprise villains, I was expecting one of the episodes to end like,
I was completely wrong, wasn't I? I had the dates wrong all this time. Did he come on out?
This was the action-packed season many of us asked for, and the real difference is just seeing how much Subaru is stepping up to the plate. It's been an absolute pleasure to see how much this is not the same Subaru we all recognized from the beginning, and now the dominoes are set up for him to knock them down in the most emphatic way possible in this arc's conclusion in 2025, and you bet your ass I'm gonna be there.
ReZero, a classic. Oh, I didn't watch it. A little bit too obscure. Maybe I must watch. It's not Vyrah nor like Demon Slayer or My Hero Academia.
In the world of anime, there's no place more brutal, more cutthroat, more bloody than the romance genre. Girls duke it out in the battlefield of the protagonist's heart. Tears are shed, hearts are broken, blood, protein is spilled. But as we all know, there can only be 1, 2, 100. 0 winners, while the losers are there just left to rot. But this year, too many losing heroines saw all that and went, you know, just because a girl lost doesn't mean she wasn't best girl in the show. And anime girls with short blue hair deserve to be the main heroine for once. And cute tomboys and awkwardly shy chicks deserve their time in the spotlight too. And I want a little sister who's way too overprotective and calls me your Oni-chan because I love my little sisters. Too many losing heroines was the answer to all of that. It looked at romance anime and said, I'm tired of this single elimination bullshit. Where the hell is my losers bracket? And losers is all we see. 1, 2, 3 girls, all rejected by the man they love, coming together to form enough copium to rival the average Man United fan. We've seen romance anime where a girl loses
You get some of that copium, bro.
accepts her defeat, and that's the end of it. But this asked, what
If you got some, send me a message on my if you got some copium, send me a message on Discord or my Instagram. I'll eat you up.
kind of reaction do we get after that point? Yahoo! This was the greatest hits montage of the saddest and funniest coping mechanisms people can find themselves when they're just in their lowest points. It's messy, it's emotional, it's sometimes just hilariously pathetic, and in between all of them is the victim of their non-consensual trauma dump. When I first saw this setup, I thought I had the show all figured out. Oh, here we go again. A laid-back, reserved guy paired with some loud, energetic, Genki anime girl. Wow, that's a trope I've never seen before. But as you watch, it doesn't play out how you think. The trigger never gets pulled, the patented anime blush scene never happens, and all we're left with is a guy forming a real friendship.
Wait, let me just check one thing real quick. Why the fuck? Oh, you're right.
By just letting these girls feel like they don't have to deal with all of this alone. Too Many Losing Heroines was a different kind of rom-com in a highly competitive year full of them. There's a genuine sense of community with the cast as you're able to laugh with them at their highest points and really feel for them at their lowest. It's a show that knows when to laugh at itself and when to take itself 100% seriously, selling you on all these emotions. Anger, emptiness, denial, that knee-jerk conclusion that you just lack any self-worth, all in its 12-episode run. Losing Heroines was a different kind of rom-com in a highly competitive year full of them, and I say this as someone who's just not as interested in high school romance shows anymore. As a 34-year-old married man, there is just far less for me to relate to nowadays. Even if a show is decent, any school romance is going to have a hard time getting on my list. It can't just be good. It can't just be great. It's gotta be bloody fantastic.
Yeah, when it comes to romance, I also love like romance anime, especially well, like I always loved shoujos. I haven't watched like yaois or the fuck is the yuris, right? But like I always loved like shoujos, and right now like there isn't like a lot of them that are actually fucking like I don't know. It takes, like he said, and I agree with that. Like it takes a lot more to entertain me and to actually like make me feel something for the characters or actually care. Because just because like when you're oversaturated, well. Well, when you watch enough of them, well, it just gets it gets more difficult. I'd say like the magic is gone when it comes to like this type of animes. You know, like the magic is gone, and on top of that, like you got like your personal life and. But to be fair, like when it comes to like we were talking about like the what you commenting on and reacting on the fact that he said that the anime becomes like quite the norm, quite is popping. Well, the like the reality is that like if you have a girlfriend, now that it pops off, it's not like fucking cave dwellers like and fucking basement dwellers, fucking needs, no lives, and fucking nerds and geeks that fucking watch this. If you are in couple, like fucking watch a fucking romance shoujo yaoi yuri anime. This is such a good time to spend in a couple as a couple. Like to be fair. Like, and on this one, like, as much as I am a critic when watching romance animes or like slice of life animes by myself, in a couple, bro, like this is good time guaranteed, bro.
Modern romance anime has an epidemic. I don't know when it started, but it felt like I woke up one day and 90% of them collectively agreed to do exactly the same thing. Let's just make a guilt-free, comfy show with minimal conflict, drama, and progression showing daily interactions of some shy guy and a girl. Except the girl has the thing. You know what I mean? The thing. Maybe she communicates in Russian. Maybe she's just legally fucking blind. Maybe the thing is that she has undiagnosed schizophrenia. Where the hell did this all come from? Some call this an offshoot of the teasing genre, some call it comfort romances, and some call it bait for lonely dudes who get no bitches and stack no paper. With how much this is all blending together, I'm starting to call this shit the isekai of the romance genre. And now I'm doubly convinced I'm never going to be able to look at one of these shows the same ever again because the dangers in my heart completely blows all of them out the water. No hooks, no gimmicks. This was just the purest depiction I've ever seen in anime of two people falling in love. Now, a wise man once said,
I think love is just like cringe.
and you know what?
So this was his side, like one of his side, how is it called? His side, like channels. It's called Trash Taste. It's a podcast. You gotta watch it. It's a good time. Like, I'll leave the link in the bio with like the link in the description with the his channel and the link to this video.
I stand by that. We can do some cringe ass shit when we think we're in love. It's that winky face you sent to that person once that keeps you up at night wondering why you thought it was a good idea. It's that corny shit we clowned on in love songs but secretly you wanted to feel just once. It's that dumbass joke you nervously blurted out in front of them that had everyone looking at you funny and made you want to crawl in a corner and just disappear. But it didn't fucking matter when you realized that they were the only one that laughed. That is the dangers in my heart. This isn't about the chase. It's not about the will they, won't they. It's about two people slowly discovering a form of comfort that only the other person can provide. Not just someone that fills that hall of companionship, but the one person who can break down that bullshit barrier you put around yourself and accepts you for that person you're scared to show the outside world. Here are two people just genuinely becoming the best versions of themselves when they're with each other, and God, isn't that what it's all about? This didn't feel like some crush. This didn't feel like some contrived anime love story. This is romance in its purest fucking form and a reminder of what falling in love should feel like. In the race of modern great romance anime, you've heard of Kaguya-sama Love is War? Well, get ready for Yamada-kun Love is Cringe.
Love is cringe. Yeah, my ex told me like my love was cringe.
Girls Band Cry has girls in a band that... Anime is not new to the girl rock.
So this describes pretty much the whole rock band experience. I had like 3 bands in my life, and while we were not like actively crying, this was pretty much what was happening like on the inside. I spent 1 minute having a good time.
Band concept. It all started in 2009 with girls band Chai. 2 years ago saw the uprising of the highly beloved girls band Shy, even tangentially in shows like Angel Beats that gave us girls band Die. We know what dynamic to expect. Cute girls doing cute things, chasing their dreams, trying hard while having a jolly good time making new friends, and look how adorable they are when they interact with each other. And then there's girls band Cry. These aren't your pristine, perfect idol girls. They argue, talk shit to each other.
So 3D animation was never my likings. To some it doesn't bother them. Like to me, it's just I don't like the way it feels, watching it.
Other throw tantrums. Our main girl Nina has a public outburst, gets told to be quiet, and calmly responds by throwing a fucking lamp at him. Nina is your average New Yorker, but it's this brutal honesty with each other that makes this show feel so real. Their friendship seems so genuine. The drama is not some cutesy nothing burger. Every person.
Of course, meaning that like some anime is like do not fucking like limit yourself just because it's 3D anime and not anime like 2D anime. Like I was just pointing this out because like some great shows are in here, you know.
Person is carrying some trauma, a character flaw they live with. These girls act like girls. They can come off as childish. They can make naive decisions on their journey, and they, get this, do not get rewarded for it. This is no fairy tale, no idealistic story about chasing your dreams. This is a down-to-earth look at the harsh reality of staying true to yourself no matter what the world is telling you. But even so, they refuse to betray their character. These girls embody the true spirit of rock, both its ups and its downs, and it's through watching their struggles do you get some of the finest drama you can find all year. Ew, isn't this CG? Alright, get the fuck over here. No! I've had enough of your shit. I get that anime fans have a Pavlovian response anytime they see CG, but this is some of the best I've seen outside of Studio Orange. There's not a single moment where something interesting isn't happening in frame. Every movement adds so much character, micro-expressions that perfectly emphasize emotions, and concert scenes that bring the fucking hype to the fantastic music. Speaking of which, ooh, the piano. That piano. Girls Band Cry takes it back to basics. Great writing, great characters, great banter, and devious piano keys that bring joy upon my ears.
Give it a maybe. I don't. No. I mean, yeah, you do your own choices.
In this day and age, we've seen it all. Thrillers, gangster stories, pirates, ninjas, knights. It's so rare to see a concept that hasn't been done before. A story yet to be told. And Orb on the Movements of the Earth was all of that, and so much more. In a time when faith was the dominating school of thought, when studying science was the Asian parent equivalent of finding out your kid wants to go to art school, what if you had to prove to everyone that the Earth isn't the center of everything, but we're actually a rock flying thousands of miles per hour through the vastness of space, held down by this invisible force you can't touch, see, or smell. Oh, you think you can do that? I bet you still secretly give Pluto the planet pass when no one's around, you lying prick. Orb isn't just the story of heliocentrism. It's a captivating tale showing how one simple idea can change the course of so many lives. An idea that just won't die no matter how many times you try to extinguish it. It passes from person to person, generation to generation. This story is a testament to the lengths people will go in the pursuit of truth, in the face of adversity, in the face of unimaginable pain. Nothing can cage humanity's desire to look at the universe and go, I understand it now. If Dr. Stone made scientists look cool, this is a full-on celebration of the scientific method. Because when the universe looks down at us and says, I will never reveal my secrets to you, humanity looks up and replies, fuck you, we're gonna try anyway. This is both the brutal reality and true beauty that comes in that pursuit of knowledge. How many people laid the groundwork of research and died just before a massive breakthrough? Are the real heroes of science the ones who come up with the correct ideas, or the ones who suffer the heartbreak of realizing they've dedicated their life work researching down the wrong path and yet still accept it, knowing that the next person will now know what not to do? It's the legacy of all these unsung heroes of science that Orb wants you to think about. This isn't about a life, but the lives of the people that give us the understanding of the world we have today. It never stops reminding us that through every great individual, every achievement, every giant leap humanity takes stands on the back of the work of the people that came before them. No matter what kind of old-fashioned archaic thinking that existed back then that could halt the progress of humanity.
誰もが簡単に文字を使えたら、ゴミのような情報で溢れ返ってしまう。
Wait, hold on a second, this guy might be onto something.
That's fine.
It really felt like anime rediscovered its love for pure fantasy shows this year, with Frieren leading the charge with a tale that spoke straight to our souls. We laughed, we cried, and the community replied, damn, that's deep. While all this was going on, another show was cooking with a different approach. It had elves, it had dragons, it had dungeons, but looked at all these monsters and went,
Feast mode activated. Hashtag hungry. FeedMeMore.com.
Dungeon Meshi satiated all our appetites by giving us a different kind of fantasy show, and when I saw this I thought, wow, finally, an anime where people just want to eat monsters and not want to fuck them. It presents itself as a low-stakes, comfy cooking show, then hits you with an attention to detail in its world building that most fantasy anime could only dream of. From the biology to the concepts, it takes these well-known creatures and reimagines them in a way to give them a sense of credibility that makes you forget that you're watching a fictional story and not some nature documentary. It'll introduce you to these treasure bugs, insects shaped like coins and jewelry that target unsuspecting prey, and you're like, ah, okay, that's kind of like real-life bugs that can perfectly camouflage themselves in nature. 2 episodes later, we see our first mimic, and if you're familiar with fantasy, mimics are some of the most well-known monsters responsible for many of your in-game deaths, I'm sure. But here, Dungeon Meshi gives them that believability by imagining them as some giant hermit crabs that gravitate towards chests as their home. Makes sense. But then, seemingly on a totally unrelated note, a treasure bug is found near it. Then one of the characters casually mentions, oh yeah, that's because the treasure bugs lay their eggs on the mimics so the larvae feed on them and they mature in there. And then it clicks. Oh, that's why these treasure bugs conveniently find their way into chests, perfectly placed for some unsuspecting adventurers to find. And this was the exact point. My mind fully comprehended the exact scope of this world building. These aren't just random monsters scattered around. This is an ecosystem where every single thing is interconnected. There is no part that exists solely in a bubble. Every piece of this world has been carefully crafted and interwoven with a level of care that's rare to see anywhere. And you're telling me this level of craftsmanship is being used in a make-believe comfy cooking show? This is the moment when you fall into its trap. Oh! Oh! God fucking damn it.
Okay, let me, is there like, what's the delicious in dungeons? I'll actually fucking figure it. I'll actually take this one out. Now that I think of it, delicious, in dungeon. Where the fuck is it written? In dungeon. Okay. This actually, well, this one. Now that this is the genius of Gigak. Like this dude, like just sells you an anime, and you're like, I've watched it, but like to be fair, like the one that clicked for me, the first time was Vyrah, and now rewatching it, thinking about it a little more, makes me really wanna fucking watch the Season Dungeon and Apothecary Diary, especially now that I finished Vyrah. And that my soul is crying for more content when I eat. Yeah, I always fucking watch anime or like TV shows when I eat, you know, so. Call it, or like in general, but like, or like when I have breaks. So yeah, delicious in dungeon. Why not give it a try? This is like the type of anime. Why not, you know? Why not? These are like light-weighted animes, light-hearted like animes, kind of like Vyrah, where it's like, yeah, bro, like people kind of like don't give a fuck about like the world getting destroyed like 12 times in a row. Some people just don't just want an adventure, and I'm pretty sure that like this has like some of the good parts of like Vyrah adventure, where it's like. Nothing is about to fucking go to shit for everyone, you know? Like not everything is about to fucking die, and so because of that, like you get to enjoy like some good old adventures, you know?
When Dungeon Meshi shows its true hand, you realize the food was simply a vehicle to prep you for what the dungeon really is. This is a brutal environment we are nowhere near close to understanding or taming. This is not your comfy fantasy world. This is a Maiden Abyss style Lovecraftian nightmare. A world that runs on its own set of rules beyond human comprehension that we have only just taken a single step into. Yet even through this turn, the series never loses its heart. The lovable leads always remain true to themselves. Marcial is still playing Elden Ring. Senshi is playing Cooking Mama. Chilchuck is playing Slay the Spire. Izutsumi just brought Stray. Everyone else is trapped in Darkest Dungeon. Meanwhile, Laios is in the corner going,
Feed me more.com.
Dungeon Meshi invites you to have a taster of this living, breathing world, and you forget for a moment that none of it's actually real. It'll lull you into its cozy vibe and smack you round the head when you get too comfortable, and by the end of it, sits you down to enjoy another delectable meal while you reflect on the journey. In summary,
Good soup.
Good soup.
Let's do a minute of silence for this man.
Maybe you've been watching anime for 1 year, maybe you've been watching it for 5 years, maybe even 10, but I'm sure you remember that feeling of watching those first 10 shows. That excitement of discovering this whole new medium where everything felt fresh. It was a place that operated on its own set of rules, not bound by the ideas you were used to. There was a weirdness to it you couldn't find anywhere else, and every new episode you watched, something unpredictable lay just around the corner. I've been watching anime for 20 years, and dun took me back to those times. Shonen Jump is a place where its formula for success has been repeated over generations, so when a new title gets adapted, we normally know what the rules are. And Dan starts by taking that rulebook and setting it on fire. At first you think, okay, it's another battle shonen. Then you realize, hold on, it's actually a rom-com. No, sci-fi. Wait, it's a supernatural. Maybe actually it's even a horror. You go through this entire notion before it even occurs to you that 90% of this show revolves around some dude getting his balls back. This is what happens when you throw everything against the wall and say, fuck it, we ball. You could be the strongest observation haki user and still be unable to predict what happens next. When you expect it to go forwards, it goes sideways. When you say jump, it asks. It exudes this childish freedom of expression you forget how to do as an adult, and the most incredible thing is that somehow, someway, it is able to take all this chaos and keep everything cohesive. This is a show that can make you laugh, make you cry, make you hype, leave you in absolute awe in some of its most beautiful moments, all while staying true to its own special brand of weirdness. In the sanitized, safe, risk-free world of modern entertainment, watching this reminded me of the childish excitement I should feel when watching a new anime. And the only thing holding this from the top spot is that we've barely taken a step off the starting line.
Okay, so this anime, what's the name? Let me check. Maybe I'll check it out if I get the time.
Maybe you've been watching anime for 1 year, maybe you've been watching it for 5 years, maybe even 10, but I'm sure you remember that feeling of watching those first 10 shows. That excitement of discovering this whole new medium where everything felt fresh. It was a place that operated on its...
Oh my fucking god, can you give me the name of the anime? Too bad.
Beautiful moments, all while staying true to its own special brand of weirdness. In the sanitized, safe, risk-free world of modern entertainment, watching this reminded me of the childish excitement I should feel when watching a new anime. And the only thing holding this from the top spot is that we've barely taken a step off the starting line.
You know, if I'm being super honest, I don't even like drawing manga. It's a pain in the butt.
Then why do you draw, Fujino?
If you would, for a second, indulge me on this anecdote I think about a lot. It's 3 AM in the year 1988. An audio engineer in Hawaii is picking up after a late night of work when his phone rings. On the other end was a local musician who asked if he can come in and record something. Of course, the engineer told him that he was closing and they could easily come in the next day, but the guy pleaded to let him record this idea he desperately wanted to see through. 15 minutes later, that person came in. He played one song, one take, and it was
somewhere over the rainbow. I know the story. This dude is a genius. This is a beautiful story.
Was over. For years, that recording would lay dormant, only to actually be released 5 years later. That guy was Israel Kamakawiwo'ole, and that recording was his now world-famous rendition of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. This story has always stuck with me. For anyone who's ever created something, sometimes you have that project, that idea that hits you when inspiration strikes and refuses to leave. You'll think about it when you're taking a shower, when you're having lunch, when you're working on anything else. Like a parasite, it festers in your mind waiting for you to materialize it. And you know you have to see it through. Not for money, not for clout, not for any sense of personal responsibility, but because you just need to. On every single level. That is the exact feeling I get when watching Look Back. A need to make, a need to create. Look Back was many things. It's a love letter to the creative process. It's an exploration to why people make art. It's a homage to some of the most tragic events that have happened in the industry, but more than that, there is this overwhelming sense of an author coming to terms with his own personal struggles, speaking directly through these characters that he's created. Coming from the mind that gave us Fire Punch and Chainsaw Man, this was a shockingly simple, soulful tale of two artists and their journey of creating for each other, creating for money, creating for pride, creating for themselves. This is a film that encapsulates the entire spectrum of emotions for anyone who's ever made anything, in a way only someone who's felt the depths of those feelings could portray. That excitement of finishing your first work, the struggle of knowing you can do better, that deep insecurity that you're just inadequate, the euphoric explosion of having your work recognized, the emptiness you feel when you've forgotten why you started this journey in the first place, and that moment when you doubt it all and ask, was it all worth it? In 1 hour, this film packs more emotional depth than most anime can fit in an entire season through simple, beautiful storytelling. It felt like a story that was made simply because someone needed to put it all out there. It's jam-packed full of the rawest human emotions, like you're watching somebody scream from their soul. Lines that feel so intimate, you're unsure if you're watching two characters talk to each other or a person having a conversation with themselves. This is the kind of personal story that's so rare to experience, and when I see someone laying themselves bare, it's hard for me not to be deeply moved. I've experienced this story 3 times now, and every time has given me something different. I read the manga and cried at the pure beauty of the storytelling and emotions on display. I watched this in theaters and cried experiencing this story again so perfectly brought to life. I put this on when it got its home release and cried feeling such a profound connection to what the creators must have felt when making this, and after every single time, without fail, it gave me a reminder of why the hell I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I'm sure some of you may think that putting a movie as my #1 anime this year feels like a cop-out, and yeah, it kind of is. I often try to make it a point to keep anime films and series separate. I've never put a movie in any of these rankings before, but no matter how much I reflected, no matter what other shows I put here, nothing else felt right. It had to be Look Back. Not because I wanted to give it exposure, not because of some review score, not because of any arbitrary qualifications. I put it here because simply, I just needed to.
Okay, so if it's a movie that like is Gigak certified, you should watch it. Like, you should take a look. Gen Z TV, yo, do you remember me? Nah, I have not been streaming in ages. What's going on? Alright, let's do some more reacts. So yeah, out of it, to be fair, so to make it simple, like I think that overall, Free Ren, My Hero Academia, and My Hero Academia, I'd say Delicious and Dungeon if you want. Like the rest are like kind of obscure, you know, like and the movie, oh bro, like if you want to watch a movie, like let's go, dude. So yeah, what can I fucking watch now? Do you remember Surviving the Fall? Remember you played guitar. Wait, what the fuck? Wait, let me. No, because I'll be honest with you. I got like it's been months since it's been like 5 like streams that like people just show up and they try to sell me like their scams. So I'll check out. How the fuck do I check my followers? Like channel, bro. Like bro, yeah, because like on this one I'm pretty sure like you didn't fucking yeah, Gen Z TV, maybe I remember. Yeah, yeah, I used to. Oh yeah, I was live, man. Yeah, it's been a long time indeed. creator dashboard. Wait. I was working on the game. Oh yeah. Was it like the survival game or something? So has it been going? Let me just oh yeah, bro. Like you were like one of my first fucking followers. What a fucking legend, actually. Big up on you, bro. Like happy to see you. Like yeah, life happened and a lot of stuff happened, to be honest. And but yeah, and so how's life treating you, man? A long time I've seen you, brother. Bro, I finally found my niche, bro. Like I finally found the way to fucking to fucking stream it out, because like music is too it wasn't too much, to be honest, but it's just like the need to improve is just like out of my energy level possibilities right now. And when it comes to like playing games and stuff, I had a good time, but like I finally find like what I was searching for, you know. So yeah, I don't even know, but like, oh, let's I want to react to this one. Understand it. Yeah. And so what have you been up to, bro? Like all things are going for you, bro. I'll smoke a cigarette with you, and I'll go back to fucking reacting. Like for me, like stuff has been nice overall. Well, like goddamn, what a legend, Gensu TV himself, bro. Like the fucking 50 followers that allowed me to become an affiliate, bro. Like thanks to like I got to become an affiliate, bro. Like so now I'm actually in this fucking freak show myself, you know. Ah, fuck. Um, Actually, now that I think of it, I'm still working on the game, but still much work to go and so on. Still working on the game. Like, I need a new PC too. Well, if you do some progress, well, let me check. Like, you're still on Discord, because like, if you want, you can you can like share your progress on how is it called on the Discord. Like I'll be always happy to cheer you up if you send me some screenshots, you know. Yeah. I remember, and you even showed me like you're from Sweden, Norway, Denmark, like one of the trees, right? Like you're a Scandinavian, right? Or like, am I mistaken? Maybe like I've got so many followers in TBH. Norwegian, yeah, Norwegian. I think we even fucking talked, right? Wow, fucking legend, this man. Thank you so much for coming by, bro. Yeah, it's been a while, yeah. Like some like you're the second, actually, like you are technically the second, like one of my like OG followers that actually came by. You know, like when you're a small streamer and you have like 50 followers, two followers that come by after a year of break, you know. Bro, that means fucking glory. The 2 followers, it means 2,000 or 200, you know? So yeah, it's good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. I can send you the new Discord to STF if you want. Yeah, sure, send it to me. Like there's a Discord invite. Yeah, you cannot send text. You cannot send text. There's a Discord invite. You join my Discord, and like I'll just set you up. Wait. Oh yeah. Yeah, whatever. Are you like timed out? Oh no, if you're timed out, like just add me on Discord. Add me on Discord and join the Discord. Oh, Jency, here you go. I see you online. All right. Yeah, I'll just join your Discord. Yeah, official surviving the fall. Yeah, I remember you, bro. Have you read the rules? Yes. Let me check out your stuff, media, fun art. Like bug report. Yeah, no, it's really great. Sneak peek. Let me check. Show all. Sneak peek. I don't see sneak peek. Maybe media. Pull it up on screen. It's complicated right now. Like I only see game related chat information. Server guide. Like I'm not. I've been coming. I came back like not too long ago. So showing like the fucking Discord and it's on. It's in game related. I think I don't have the rights because I only have like bug reports and suggestion. Like maybe you need to give me a better like I don't know. Wait, what's the trusted members? Maybe. What's the wait? Yeah, try to make me a survivor or something, like to maybe I'll see it this way. No, like a trusted member doesn't work. Same. No, then I don't know. Like because I only see game related. No, still no. So yeah. I'll send you. Yeah, just send me some pics on Discord and I'll check it out right now. After that, I'll go back to working. Upload spoiler image. Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Oh yeah. Whoa, you actually like did some. So do you have like already like a map ongoing? Let me check. That's actually quite good. What the fuck? That's how you start, man. Like, let me. Like, that's actually quite good. Damn. And you got the character ongoing. Damn, bro. Like, we actually did some progress. Like, that's some good look. That's some good looking shit. What the fuck? Thanks. Yeah, bro. No worries. Actually, it's actually a good thing that you joined. I'm happy to see that like you didn't abandon your dream neither, bro. It's on Steam too. I'll check it out. You'll send me the link. I'll check it out because like I have 15 accounts and I need to fucking handle that shit the way I can, you know. So yeah. But yeah, goddamn. Let me check. Visit sites. Oh yeah, you have more screenshots on the Steam page, actually. God damn, you actually present the game quite well. It's actually, damn, that's actually pretty good, man. Like the five like old photo, but yeah, but like the screenshot, like let's say on the of the table is actually fucking good, man. Like this is, let me, yeah, wait, previews. Bro, like that's actually some good shit, man. Like what the fuck? Like it's clean as fuck and like in this let me just read what you wrote about like the how you like about the story or like in this game, you play as a Nordic soldier in a post-apocalyptic open world with the beautiful landscape of Norway. The game is a single-player survival game where you have to fight against mutated creatures who have been poisoned by a mysterious virus that has taken over the city. Damn, that's actually fucking legit, bro. Like, what the fuck, man? I'm actually quite glad to fucking see that, man. Oh, goddamn. I need to do some more react, so no worries, bro. Thank you for coming by, bro. I'll continue my fucking. I need to do my quota of like reaction videos for the day, so I'll check it out. But like, I'm happy to for it that. Yeah, no worries, man. See ya later, man. But like on this one, good on you, man, and good on you for coming by because like this is good stuff, man. This is actual good stuff. Let me just let me just like yeah. I'll just so uh yeah. I'll just do this and like put this on the screen like since it's like online it's easier because like this is legit, man. Yeah, thank you so much. I'll just show it on the stream this what you said like the update because like this is good shit. Like this is beautiful, man. Like so, yeah. In this game, you play as a Nordic soldier in a post-apocalyptic open world with the beautiful landscape of Norway. The game is a single-player survival game where you have to fight against mutated creatures who have been poisoned by a mysterious virus that has taken over the city. Damn, man! Like this is some good stuff. This is some good stuff, man. Good luck streaming. Good luck for your day, and good luck developing, Jency. All right, so about some more reactions. So yeah, we were done with like this one. I actually saw another video. Why not react to that? So it's called "The Great Wave" by Okusai. Great art explained. So yeah.
In 1639, Japan closed its borders and cut itself off from the outside world. Foreigners were expelled, Western culture was forbidden, and entering or leaving Japan was punishable by death. It would remain that way for over 200 years. It was under these circumstances that a quintessentially Japanese art developed. Art for the people that was consumed on an unprecedented scale. The Great Wave of Kanagawa by Hokusai was made around 1830. It was a time when the rest of the world was becoming industrialized, and the Japanese were concerned about foreign invasions. At first sight, the Great Wave is simply an image of a serene and timeless Japan. But take a closer look and you see that this beautiful wave is about to engulf 3 boats of terrified fishermen, as Mount Fuji and the shores of Japan recede into the distance. This is an image of Japan fearful that the sea, which has protected its peaceful isolation for so long, will become its downfall. This is an image of Japan facing an uncertain future. The Edo period refers both to the city of Edo, now called Tokyo, and to a time period from 1615 to 1868, during which, after centuries of civil war, the Tokugawa shogun, or feudal overlords, took over Japan. The shogun believed that Christianity in particular and other foreign influences were a threat to the newfound stability of the country, and so it cut itself off from the world. Strict social order was imposed. At the top were the emperor, court nobles, and the shoguns. Then the population was split into first samurai, then farming peasants, then artisans, and finally merchants. Any interaction between the classes was forbidden, and there were strict codes of public behaviour for all classes. Edo by the mid-18th century was the biggest city in the world, with a population of 1 million. As the economy boomed, the merchants, once considered the lowest social class, rose through the ranks and increasingly could afford luxuries like education, travel within Japan, books, and art. The merchant's search for sensual pleasures became known as ukiyo, meaning the floating world. A culture that developed in the red light district of Edo. It was here that alongside brothels you would find kabuki theatres, puppet shows, poets and writers. The commercial prints being produced were mostly famous courtesans and kabuki actors. Like today, it was sex and celebrity that sold. Woodblock prints were known as ukiyo-e, or pictures of the floating world, and sold in the thousands. It was a craze like modern-day trading cards, and there was a constant demand for new images, new celebrities, and new prints to collect. Although printed by hand, mass production made them highly profitable for the publishers. The Great Wave was probably printed at least 8,000 times. However, it is important to stress that traditional painting was still considered noble and beyond the means of most merchants, whereas these prints could be bought for the price of a bowl of noodles, but were still considered low in social prestige. Despite the highly controlled atmosphere during the Edo period, the arts flourished, and ukiyo-e ensured art was no longer restricted only to those of high status. Hokusai was born in 1760 and made his reputation as a teenager, painting portraits of kabuki actors for woodblock prints. He would later move away from the images of celebrities and focus on landscapes and images of the daily life of Japanese people. This change of subject was a breakthrough in both ukiyo-e and in Hokusai's career, and his work became the most sought after in Japan. Despite a successful professional life, he had a fair run of bad luck in his personal life. Both his wives and 2 children predeceased him, and he was struck by lightning at 50, and then suffered a stroke, which meant he had to relearn how to draw. Reaching the age of 60 in Japan is a time to celebrate. Rather than seen as getting old, it is viewed as a time for rebirth. Hokusai's last decades were in fact when he produced his best and most loved works. As he himself said, "All I have done before the age of 70 is not worth bothering with." And it was at the age of 70 when he embarked on his most ambitious project yet, 36 views of Mount Fuji, one of which was the Great Wave. Mount Fuji was sacred in Japan, with over 800 shrines dedicated to it. Religious confraternities were known as Fujiko, or Fuji cults, and for Hokusai, Mount Fuji was a personal spiritual obsession. As well as a site of religious pilgrimages, it was seen as an important symbol of strength and stability in Japan, still isolated and enveloped with its own tradition and culture. In 36 views, Hokusai shows Mount Fuji as it is seen from the forest, the village, the lake, the river, and the beach. But it was the sea view, known as the Great Wave of Kanagawa, that would create international interest in Japanese art. Hokusai would become the first ukiyo-e artist to use landscape as the main focus of these mass-produced images. The 36 views were classic Hokusai, condensing images to their purest form and placing importance on line and colour. They feature the ordinary working-class man within the sacred landscape, a perfect blend of the physical and the metaphysical. Landscape prints were not nearly as popular as the celebrity prints, but their sales would increase as travel within Japan increased. By the late 18th century, there was a steady flow of merchants, peddlers, pilgrims, and pleasure seekers heading to Mount Fuji. These people would prove to be an enthusiastic audience for a new genre of souvenirs: woodblock prints showing views of famous places throughout Japan. In 1829, Prussian blue, a synthetic colour which had been very expensive, became available at a low price via China, making it possible to use in ukiyo-e prints. Hokusai's publisher, always on the lookout for novel selling points, promptly commissioned 36 views in order to exploit this new innovative colour. The first 5 prints in the series were printed almost entirely in shades of Prussian blue, with some indigo. Even the outlines, which are usually printed in black, are also in blue. They would be marketed to the public as aizorie. Compared to previous blues, Prussian blue was more vivid, had greater tonal range, and most importantly, didn't fade. It also made the prints exotic and therefore desirable to the general public.
Okay, so the whole story is really interesting, but there's 2 fucking things that I cannot. I'm trying to make it so this is a React video soon to be put on your nets. But first, my favorite fucking Japanese painting. The dude just says, yes, so he fell ill and got fucking hit by thunder. What the fuck? He just overlooks the fact that the painter of the Great Wave of Japan fell ill and got fucking hit by thunder. Okay, bro. You okay? He got hit by fucking thunder. And man, what the fuck? And then, so I've been publishing my videos, and I got to tell you that his portfolio has got 36 views. Do you know what that's straight for? I mean, views. That dude is a revolutionary. He's got 36 views. One of my videos right now was stuck at 36 views exactly, and as of yesterday, and I'm just Japanese never cease to fucking amaze me and never disappoint. Dude. Yeah, he was a painter like everyone else. Fell ill once, and got hit by fucking thunder, Well, do you know, many people that get hit by fucking thunder? Just saying, But anyway,
maybe this one will make 30. Maybe this reaction video will make 36 views. You know.
By using different saturations of the same colour, Hokusai, a master of light and shade, gives us the impressions of the hours before dawn or after dusk, when our eyes can't make out distinct shades because of the soft light. Although Japan's borders were officially closed, the Dutch, who had never tried to push Christianity, were allowed 2 trading ships per year. This was just about the only direct connection between Japan and Europe at the time. It was how Hokusai came to see Dutch landscape prints, which would have a major influence on his work. Western artists fix the physical position of the viewer, whereas in Japanese landscape painting there is no distinct point to guide us. The Japanese were inclined to depict a panoramic view of the scene, perhaps more like a floating view. Time too is fixed in Western art, whereas Japanese art was more fluid and often included several time windows. Although Japanese paintings or high art were not confined by strict linear perspective, lowbrow images like ukiyo-e used European perspectives as a sort of novelty and were promoted as ukie or perspective pictures. Hokusai would put everything he'd learnt about style, colour, light and technique over 6. Hokusai would...
Okay, on this one I just want to check like other arts, like... You can see like that there's brilliance to the Great Wave by Hokusai just in the purity of the colors, I think. Where like this, but maybe like there was like something else, but like I think that like there is really something intemporal, like without a time limit to it, to the Great Wave of Hokusai. Whereas I don't know, like it's just call it aura, call it mood, call it vibe, you know. I just feel that like it just describes something in a way that no one else did, you know. Whereas like others, like you feel that there is a copy of it, you know.
Put everything he'd learnt about style, colour, light and technique over 6 decades into his 36 views of Mount Fuji, and one of those views would bring his work international acclaim. Ironically, this print, which in the West is seen as a characteristically Japanese image, is in fact a hybrid of Japanese and European ideas. The Great Wave is 25 centimeters by 37 centimeters. Hokusai experiments with a low horizon, typical of Dutch landscapes, which gives it an element of dynamism through the movement of the wave, which takes up 2/3 of the image. If we look at earlier Japanese seascapes, we see more of a floating view. The dark shade of Mount Fuji and the brightness of the snow-covered cap suggest it is early morning, with the sun rising from behind the viewer, lighting the peak. The location is off Kanagawa, which is south of Edo or Tokyo. Tossed about in the waves are 3 fast boats, which were used to transport live fish to the markets in Edo. Hokusai had worked with European perspective for some time now, and with the Great Wave he would take deep perspective to its ultimate conclusion, with Mount Fuji, the star of the series and the highest point in Japan, dwarfed by this huge wave in the foreground, whose spray is becoming the snow falling on Mount Fuji. As the Great Wave breaks, the same spray creates ominous, claw-like figures. It is the distance of Mount Fuji that adds a sense of dread, an element of uncertainty as to whether the fisherman will make it to shore. An earlier wave print shows a wave breaking at the beach near the island of Enoshima, while another print has an enormous wave about to hit a boat. These previous attempts look fairly lifeless and static, but the Great Wave captures perfectly the energy of the moment before a huge wave crashes down onto the fragile boats beneath. The embodiment of Hokusai's belief that art has a life of its own, a life force. In the cartouche is written the full title, 36 Views of Mount Fuji, offshore from Kanagawa, beneath the wave. And to the left of that is Hokusai's signature, which says, from the brush of Hokusai, changing his name to Litsu. Hokusai changed his name at least 30 times over his career. This was common for Japanese artists.
Oh, this
Even
is
though Japan was
so. This is interesting. Changing names during your career. Okay.
still closed off, fear of invasion by sea
Wait, is this like the same artist? Because this one, I like this one.
was very real. In the waning days of the Tokugawa shoguns, there was already talk of foreign incursions into Japan. One theory is that the uncertainty and danger of Hokusai Sea reflects an uncertain Japan, which along with the struggles of the fishermen is a sharp contrast to Mount Fuji, representing then and now the very soul of Japan itself, solid and unmoving. The Great Wave was closely tied to the inevitable end of shogun rule, and therefore Japan's isolation. Hokusai portrays the sea over which these European things and ideas travelled with stark ambiguity. This is not an image of timeless serenity, but of instability and uncertainty. Woodblock prints need a team: publisher, artist, block cutter, and printer. Hokusai hardly ever worked alone. First, a publisher would commission an image from the artist, who would create a design on thin paper, a block-ready drawing. If we look at this modern recreation of the Great Wave woodblock, we see it is reversed and then glued to the block. It is then rubbed down with an instrument called a baron.
Okay, so this is interesting because like printing is actually something somewhat new, you know? And right now seeing like there is a difference between printing books and printing art. So this is actually something interesting to look at.
Wave wood image from the artist, who would create a design on thin paper, a block-ready drawing. If we look at this modern recreation of the Great Wave woodblock, we see it is reversed and then glued to the block. It is then rubbed down with an instrument called a baron. While it is still damp from the moisture in the glue, the carver will rub with his fingers and peel off most of the paper, leaving just the lines of the original image on the surface of the woodblock. The original design would be destroyed in the making of the block. The carver then reproduces the artist's brush lines in wood. Only the best carvers worked on Hokusai prints, as the detail he expected was extraordinary. Of course, this is a print and it has been carved, but this looks exactly like the artist's brushstrokes, replicated perfectly by the woodblock carver. It was carved from a hard wood like cherry tree, as it needed to withstand hand printing, one at a time, thousands of times. The first print would often differ significantly from the later prints, as the block wore down and fine details were lost, as we see here. Colours too would change over the print run. Here the one on the left is not only a different colour, but also has a less subtle graduation in colour. The printer then inks the block. Lays a sheet of paper on top of the inked block and then uses the baron to transfer the ink onto the paper. The artist would mark a proof indicating where the colours were to go, and a carver then made a set of colour blocks. One block would be carved for each colour that was used in the prints. This printing technique ensures that every print has a one-off quality. A closer look shows us that the physical labour leaves unique indentations on the surface of the handmade paper. Behind the simplicity of the Great Wave is a complicated and delicate process, a process that is only possible thanks to a dedicated team of skilled craftsmen. For Hokusai, Mount Fuji was a talisman of longevity. He was convinced he would live to 110 and was certain that the older he got, the better he became. He would live to the incredible age of 89 in a time when the average lifespan was 50. His energy and vitality never left him, and he never stopped experimenting. He was producing paintings until his dying day. Unfortunately, later in life he was forced to use his life savings to pay off his grandson's gambling debts, and he would die penniless.
Oh.
Japan's self-imposed isolation came to an end when a flotilla of fully armed ships sailed uninvited into Tokyo Harbor on behalf of the US government and demanded that the Japanese begin to trade with the US. Japanese art, which had developed over 2 centuries of isolation, was finally revealed to an astonished world. Bold designs, intense colours, simple lines and areas of flat colour would influence a whole generation of artists and precipitate modern art. One artist in particular would produce a painting that I believe was directly inspired by Hokusai's The Great Wave. In my next video I discuss Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh.
I think that overall, so what's interesting is first that like I got to learn that like Japan was like so isolated for like 200 years, which is actually culturally really something interesting to ponder about when it comes to analyzing art, history, religion as well, and overall the whole philosophy of Japan, right? So let me just check real quick. Wait, that's what you're. Yeah, so for example, what's interesting is that like manga, so wait. So manga is said to be born like in 1814, and isolation was from 6039 8053. So for example, we watched an anime like related like video just earlier, and basically it's really interesting to know that like manga, so the same manga, see this manga here, just here, like it was like its roots are from this period of isolation of Japan during between the 6039 and 8053, right? And overall, like this is a fascinating story. Poor Okusai, who actually died like died without died poor. But overall, like I'd say, like studying like the world of artists, like you're always kind of poor, and you never kind of forget how poor you were when when you were trying to actually make something out of your art. So I'm pretty sure that like he didn't die too sad about money since he was successful with his art, you know. And so yeah. And overall, like I gotta say, like 36 views, like it's really a funny name, especially like with me doing these videos. And but like, poor dude, sorry, because I dude like sometimes I fell ill. I was bad. I was fucking hit by lightning. This man is a legend. Hey, banzai to you, Okusai. Let me check. Alright, so let me check another video. I'll check like a last one, and then I'll fucking go back to play WoW. Yeah. something short that I can make some content of. Well, why not this one? Let's try this out.
One thing I've always been interested in when it comes to video games is what goes into making a likable character. And by that, I don't mean what makes them compelling or...
Right, I'll put some subtitles.
One thing I've always been interested in when it comes to video games is what goes into making a likable character. And by that, I don't mean what makes them compelling or complex, although those things can play a factor. I simply mean what makes players like them. In the past, I've talked about some of the ways video games get players to like companions and villains, and now I want to look at the third piece of the puzzle and talk about what goes into making a likable hero. With companions and villains, the focus is on the player forming a relationship with someone else. But with heroes, there isn't that same kind of separation. It isn't a character the player is interacting with, it is one they are interacting as, and being put in control of a character inherently changes the way a player will look at them. Due to video games being an interactive medium, players will always have some sort of influence over how the playable character thinks. This might be in the way they approach the story, or combat, or puzzles, or any other element of the game, big or small. No matter what, the player is part of the protagonist. However, this connection can be tricky to maintain. The general concern a lot of developers seem to have is that if the player becomes detached from the hero for any reason, then they'll be less invested in the game as a whole. When considering that potentially millions of people may play any given title, it makes sense to not want to take that risk. So in response to this, a lot of developers opt to create heroes with either no real personality or a relatively muted one. The idea being that players can more easily project themselves onto the character. Some games do this through a silent protagonist, others allow players to create their own character, and a lot end up having heroes with defining traits that are generally inoffensive. That isn't to say that there aren't video game protagonists with likable personalities. It's just that more often than not, they end up being a little more on the reserved side. It's okay for an NPC to be over the top because the player will have limited interactions with them, but if the protagonist goes too far in any one direction, it can become grating because the player is constantly with them. So we end up getting a lot of protagonists who just feel kind of safe. They're funny, but in a quiet...
So this is true, and to be honest, this is a trope that as much as I like it, I dislike it as well. Because as much as you want to create like a likable character that is safe, well, I think that like overall it's fine, but create something that someone will say that is me, you know. Let me just like overall, like I think that like it's fine. Like in the game industry, it's complicated to always like do this thing, but at the same time, like I don't know how to say all to completely like I don't know where I'm going, but like this stale characters are too much for me sometimes.
Quiet and sarcastic sort of way. They're heroic, but not so heroic that they come off as self-righteous. They're attractive, but forgettably so. They're Nathan Drake, but usually with even less flair. These kinds of heroes have a decent enough personality to set the base for a likable character, but there isn't really enough there to push them to the next level. Fortunately, a character's personality is not the only thing that makes them likable, and given the interactivity of games, developers have some unique tools to build that connection, arguably the most effective of which is how it feels to control the character. Given that this is how players engage most with the protagonist, it plays an important role in shaping how they're viewed. If the player is constantly wrestling with controls, or feeling limited by a character's movement speed, or having inputs not work consistently, they'll become justifiably annoyed, and part of that frustration will most likely be directed at the playable character. However, if their movements are fluid and precise, this will build a positive connection. A character who players are excited to play as is one who they'll end up liking more. Consider Spider-Man from Spider-Man. Web-slinging around New York City is exciting and fast-paced, and moving from combat to traversal feels seamless. I enjoyed how it felt to be Spider-Man, and because of that, I had a bunch of positive feelings about him as a character. On the other hand, a character like Sonic feels...
I feel that like when it comes to like character creation within like video games, something that it probably misses, but that he actually talked about is also like gameplay. So you can have a good character, but if the limits in which you build them are actually like not coinciding, like not connected to the way he looks, feels, and what he tries to achieve and what power he has, well, the problem is that like it will not like be a good experience. So, for example, you can have like well, Link from Zelda, right? Link from Zelda started off as fucking like right, like let's see the in game, right? The first, let me find like, so when we talk about gameplay, right? Link from Zelda, this was the dude. He is so well known now, right? It is, wow, unmissable figure, right? Back in 90, fuck you, I don't remember the actual date. Well, it was like a character like the others, so meaning like that was the sprite of the character. Like, let me find like a oldest Zelda Super Nintendo, oldest 2D Nintendo game, right? Like there was one that like was looking like even, oh, here you go, that's the, do you understand that like what made Link back in the day so fucking great was not his character, it's just a fucking green character with brown hair and brown shoes and brown it's just a simple sprite, but the gameplay actually is really so fucking memorable that Link becomes Link because the small story that he has is supplemented. So let's say that like you have like, it has to be a 100% mix at all times, right? A lot of the stealth characters, they're like 30% personality, 70% gameplay, right? No, like the stealth characters are like 30% gameplay, 40% character game, 30% gameplay, 40% character, right? So it does like 70%. Like, and so here it's like 20% game character, 80% gameplay, right? And so after that you keep playing, and from this you're like, I want more, and it becomes this, and then it becomes this, and then it becomes this. Oh, it's called then it becomes this, right? And then it becomes like, and then it becomes this. You get me? So when it comes to stealth characters, like this is a good example of what he said, but what he will not mention, that gameplay creates a likable character as well. Not just a good image, not just a good personality, not just a good story surrounding or universe surrounding him. Gameplay is movement, is life, right? Movement is life, and it is important, and this is why you really need this to be able to understand why some characters, even as likable as you want, most adorable character, but like never fucking successful, the gameplay doesn't fucking match it. The gameplay doesn't make it shine, you know? Kind of like, let's say, Kirby, like, that is like a likable character, like, let's say Kirby, right? Okay, this is like the great example, because like Kirby is another example of Kirby is even the first, even simpler. It is a ball, and this is it, right? But the gameplay allows them to show a character that is so able and so cool, right? Do you understand how fucking empty and full of void this is, right? But this becomes this, and the gameplay, like Kirby, is at all times like this 20%, no, even 10% character, 90% gameplay. And this 90% gameplay makes it so like this just tiny ball has such a beautiful gameplay that it creates this likable video game character. And this is what I find really cool about it, you know? So yeah, because like after that there is like Kirby in Smash Bros, right? And here you have it. And now it's like you have like more character to work on, but it stays like this gameplay that was the roots of. So his way to move, his way to be, that made him so likable and made him a legend. Differently, but in a similar way to Link.
Pretty terrible to control in a lot of his games, so I hate him. In a similar vein, a character's animation also affects how players feel about them. A lot can be understood about a character from the way they move around an environment and interact with their surroundings, and when done right, it can make them far more endearing, whether it be the way Nathan Drake absently puts his hand on walls when walking close to them in the Uncharted series, or how Luigi creeps down corridors with a shiver in his step in Luigi's Mansion, or the various exaggerated expressions shown on Link's face in The Wind Waker. These little touches add a surprising amount of depth to these characters. It's a way to inject personality into them while not pulling the player out of the experience. Where hearing the same kinds of voice lines over and over again can become really annoying, small visual touches never really do, especially if they don't interrupt the action. Honestly, just being able to see a character has a major influence on how likable they are. The limited perspective of first-person titles doesn't offer as many opportunities to show off the personality of the protagonist. Players may get some dialogue from the hero, either filled with thoughts of what's going on or quippy one-liners, but a lot about a character is lost when the only input from them is their voice. Personally, I find when first-person games have cutscenes that show the protagonist, I end up liking them a fair bit more. Even though it's still limited, it helps give a sense for what they're like based on how they look and physically interact with the world and people around them. One of the more effective examples of this is BJ Blazkowicz from the Wolfenstein series. Based on his character design alone, he comes off as a monster of a man who could crush you with his bicep, but through cutscenes and his inner monologues, it's clear that he is a tender and thoughtful individual. There's something endearing about the combination of these seemingly contradictory traits, and that would be lost if the player never had the chance to see him in third person. While all of these touches can highlight likable traits about a protagonist, there are some approaches that aim to build a deeper link between the player and the hero, and they typically center around how the playable character is framed within the story. Consider Firewatch. The opening section of the game presents the player with a series of choices that chronicles the relationship between the protagonist Henry and his wife Julia. Through this section, players see him fall in love, plan for a future, and then lose it all, as Julia develops early onset Alzheimer's. This opening makes players feel connected to Henry not only because they made choices for him, but also because they witnessed the best and worst moments of his life. And regardless of who he is, experiencing that with him is endearing. Firewatch uses empathy to get players to relate to and like Henry, and as it turns out, this is one of the most effective ways to build a connection. And when done right, it doesn't even really matter whether or not the hero has a likable personality. It just matters that players see them from a certain perspective. Take Joel from the last.
So this is also like something important when it comes to like world building. Fuck being nice. Fuck being real. Like no, fuck being nice. Like glory to the real, hail to be real, you know, because like multi-distinctive, multi-tinted like characters are where it's like depicts something well, the same fucking like answers over and over, like makes you just want to smash your whole fucking like configuration, like your computer, your console, just because like just because you're like, but man, like fucking React, or like just like for me, like it's like you do something or kill yourself. Like I don't fucking know, you know. And basically, like it is something that like it is important, you know. So yeah, no, I think that like it's important to just like not always be nice, not always like be real. That's and that's also like an important lesson in life. Be real with others. Like don't be nice, be you.
Last of Us. While he has a bit of that good old southern charm and does act as a protector for other characters players care about, it's hard for me to call him likable. He's cold and distant, and he also brutally kills a lot of people, many of whom don't deserve it. However,
yeah, but also like when playing video game characters, a lot of people are like teenagers, young adults, and basically they want to relate to someone and they want to actually like, well, become like closer to what they will see as a hero or as a villain. And the thing is that like being real adds relatability, so people can relate and like identify themselves as the hero, and when they play it, it actually like makes it so like you actually enjoy playing because you feel like the character. It's kind of like, to be fair, it's kind of like you're like, if you don't relate too much, you play the character, you never feel it's a discussion about immersion, right? It creates like this immersion, and you get out of the game and you get, you know, like these movies where like you really root for the characters and you get out of the cinema, like of the movies, and you're like, damn, I'm not in this story anymore, you know. And you're almost sometimes it almost like makes you feel fucking sad about this, you know. Like it also makes you almost makes you fucking like depressed about it. It's just like, I wish I could stay, you know. Like I wish I could stay, you know. And then you go back to your life and whatever. But here is like in video games it happens too, where like you finish your game and it's like, fuck, man. Why doesn't this go further? Like why can't I like see more facets of this character? You know, why can't I see like more colors? Like we never got to fucking see him like react to snow, right? Or like to fucking see to see the day rise, the dawn of the day, right? And this is something really important when it comes to like this is what good character creation and good character building is all about.
I found myself liking him throughout the majority of the playthrough, and that's because within the first 20 minutes of the game, I witnessed the worst moment of Joel's life. I liked Joel because I thought I knew Joel. I experienced his loss alongside him and felt like I understood him because of it. This led to me excusing a lot of his actions in the name of his trauma, so much so that it wasn't until just before the end that I realized Oh yeah, this is very not good. The game is set up in a way where players will have a lot of patience for Joel. They've seen what he's gone through. They've seen how he has changed because of it. But also, they see that there is hope of him becoming a better man. Which yeah, doesn't happen, but all of this did get me to like him up until the point where it was clear that he couldn't be redeemed. Of course, the effectiveness of this approach really depends on how well it is presented. The God of War series has been trying to get players to empathize with Kratos since the first game, but given the depth of his depravity, along with him being pretty terrible even before anything happened to his family, the series' early attempts always kind of missed the mark. With that said, the previous shortcomings did set a good foundation for God of War 2018, which starts off with Kratos losing his wife. Only this time, instead of seeking a way to unleash his anger, he sets out with his son to fulfill her final request. For players new to the series, he's endearing because his grief is relatable, and for players who are already familiar with the character, this shift in the way he responds to loss shows his capacity for change, helping to reset some of the lingering opinions about his past indiscretions. While it can certainly run the risk of aggravating a portion of the audience, redemption is a solid way to get players to like a protagonist. It makes it so the hero can be a little more rough around the edges, but also it gives people a reason to root for them. Like Lee Everett from The Walking Dead and John Marston from Red Dead Redemption. Both are characters who have done terrible things in their past, and the player is introduced to them at the exact moment where they're forced to confront those things. While both games provide multiple ways for each character to find redemption, by leaving room for them to become better people, it gives players the chance to grow a connection with them and be endeared by their change. Most of what I've talked about so far are ways that games aim to make protagonists likable to a wide audience, but I think it's worth mentioning that some of the most likable heroes are the ones who aren't meant to appeal to everyone. People connect to characters who they relate to, and while there are plenty of ways to present a character so that they appeal to more people, there is something to be said for a protagonist who only appeals to some. Characters like Max from Life is Strange, whose indecisiveness manifests as a game mechanic, or May from Night in the Woods, whose lack of drive continually gets in her way, can be irritating to people who don't relate to those pressures. But as someone who very distinctly does, I found both of them to be extremely endearing. Specificity has the potential to create the strongest bond between a player and protagonist. And while I understand why many games opt to have heroes who are for everyone, those kinds of characters won't have the same level of profound relatability because they're too general. Ultimately though, what matters most about a hero isn't if they're likable or not. What matters is that they improve the experience of the game. Some titles are written in a way that benefits from having a nondescript hero, while others would make no sense without a predefined protagonist. While I personally prefer when games create playable characters with distinct traits that won't be relatable to everyone, I imagine I'll mostly have to stick to indie games for that. With that said, I respect why a lot of developers aim to make heroes that will appeal to the largest amount of people. At the end of the day, they're trying to make money, so they want their games to be as easy to get into for as many folks as possible. Given that the protagonist is how players interact with the game, that sometimes means having a hero that appeals to the lowest common denominator. I just wish that so many of them weren't so boring. Hey, thanks for watching. If you'd like to hear my voice more often,
Yeah, I think that like this was an interesting take, you know? This was a really interesting take. Alright, so I'm stop for now. I'll see you later. Have a great one, legend.